Hey, beautiful people of the internet, how are you guys doing today? Hopefully great, and welcome back to some more Warframe. So of course, just like how the title of this video does suggest, we are going to be going over how you guys can go and farm yourself some platinum for free outside of actually going and purchasing it for real money. And yes, it is possible. I do want to go and debunk this myth. Now, when it comes to actually getting yourself some of this premium currency, basically you have to then go and trade items of high value or items of value in general to other players, and they'll definitely go and give it to you. Now, these items can be pretty much anything, ranging from primed Warframe sets, primed weapons, to prime mods and some other special mods and enhancements and all that stuff. However, other methods are really inefficient and I'll actually give yourself a very low return. But before I continue with the video any further, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys would like to support me or the channel any further, remember to leave a like, as this does help me out substantially. Spartan, click the subscribe button for more Warframe videos and streams. And also, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys would like to go and interact with me outside of YouTube or doing any one of my live streams, there's going to be a link down in the description to a Discord server. Go and join it. Without further ado, let's get this video on the road, shall we? So one thing I am going to do is that I am going to tell you guys exactly what are the best items to actually go and get after, or what items you guys should actually be prioritizing on when it comes to earning tons of platinum. Now, of course, I will be giving a difficulty rating on any of these items. So the first category, or the easiest one, is to go and farm the Angels of the Zerman Arcanes. There is a specific few that do go for a ton of platinum, and you guys can actually go and play for like 30 minutes in a single day. Go and get yourself enough standing and then go and buy these arcanes. I'll definitely give you guys more detail on which arcanes, but this is actually the easy difficulty of it. Go and get yourself the Archon mods. Now, Archon mods are basically these new things that did come into the game, or brand new mod types that were introduced with the VeilBreaker update. Now, in order to go and get these mods, you simply have to then go and, play calls, new weekly missions, and go and complete the challenges. Once again, I'll give you guys more detail on how they go and work. And finally, if you guys want to go and get yourself the maximum highest possible platinum in the entire game, is to then go and sell yourself ribbons to other players. Now, ribbons for a meta weapon with godly stats, and remember, the meta ribbon has to have a high disposition, because that will affect on how high the stats are of that particular weapon. So if you guys have a disposition 5 of a weapon, you are going to have very high stats. If it's a disposition 1, you're going to have low stats. Never ever go and hold on to your ribbons, mainly because of the fact that they are going to get nerfed every 3 months, especially if the weapon does get popular. Currently, a great meta weapon is the Chroma Heck, and mainly because of the fact that the Chroma Heck is able to go and 1 to 2 shot the Archon in one particular instance. If you guys would like to know exactly how to do it, there'll be a link down in the description to that particular video. So let's go and start off with the Angels of the Zerman update and how you guys can actually go and farm these platinum. So what you guys want to do is, when you have gone and complete the Angels of the Zerman questline, you'll then have access to the Zerman 10.0, and you particularly then want to go to a new social space called Chrysalis. So once upon arriving to the Angels or the Zerman 10.0 for the first time, here is the entrance that you guys will be greeted. Now, you will be slowing down there. There's a whole bunch of stairs, but this is basically the main area. We've got ourselves the Bounty Man, we've got ourselves the Arcane Man in the middle there, and even further down there you'll see a lady. She is the person that you go and trade in your, void plumes and all of that good stuff. And even further is a decoration lady, but we don't really care about decoration on this channel, or me personally, I just think it was a bit of a waste of platinum. So basically what you guys want to do is to then go and farm yourself some void plumes and then go and hand them in to this lady right here. You guys get a whole bunch of different types. The highest is a void pinion, which can be gotten from the void angel, and the rest of these plumes, well, you can actually go and find them throughout the Zerman Tower set, just like how you guys are actually going and playing a regular sortie mission where you guys go and look for those medallions. Once you guys have gotten these items, then go and hand any of these things, and then you guys will go and get yourself more standing. Now, because of the way the Warframe currently is designed, there is a daily cap which does scale based off your mastery rank, but currently I am mastery 26, as you guys can tell at the top here, and as you guys can tell, I don't really have any mastery left over. I have to wait until 5 hours until it can go and refresh. But typically when you guys are mastery 26, you guys actually have access to 30,000 standing, which is really, really good, but you can only get a very limited amount of arcanes on a daily basis. So once you guys have actually hit rank 5 with the hold fast or the home fast syndicate, you basically just want to go and head over to this dude. His name is Calvero. He'll then give you access to all of the good stuff. Then we're going to click on browse wares, and as you guys can see, we have a whole bunch of items: sigils, arcanes, weapon blueprints, and of course some mirrors. Now there's actually two arcanes that are worth a lot of platinum, and the first one is called Molt Efficiency. Now Molt Efficiency basically is a really powerful, really useful, arcane. I'm going to be throwing some stats or some data on how much this particular arcane is going at the time of making this video. Remember, the prices for these arcanes can vary based off of the date. As time does progress, there is going to be some new updates which are going to result in new metas, new ways of playing, so prices can go and change. But Molt Efficiency, a full set, is going for a good amount of platinum, and actually going and farming it isn't going to be too bad, maybe because of the fact you can go and play maybe 1 or 2 bounties, max out your standing for a day, and then go and buy the arcane you want. So Molt Efficiency, pretty good arcane, but not the most expensive one. The best arcane to go and get is one called Molt Augmented. Now I've been doing this for like the past month or so, and Molt Augmented basically goes for around 200 platinum for a full set. Now in order to actually go and create a full set, you actually need to then go and get yourself 21 individual Molt Augmented, max them all out to rank 5, and therefore you have a set that's worth 200 platinum. A really fun way, an easy way to go and get yourself some platinum, mainly because of the fact that you just have to go and play Warframe for like 30 minutes, okay, or casually play it, like very, very casually. You don't have to go and jump into Steel Path or anything, but bear in mind some of the, some of the bounties are relatively strong, so you will have to struggle a little bit. But if you're a beginner at the Warframe, then this guy definitely isn't for you, as you remember, you have to have access to all of your quests. But Molt Augmented, definitely worth getting if you guys are currently Mastery 26. You're looking at around 3 arcanes per day. You need to go and get yourself 21. That means you're going to be able to go and make yourself 200 platinum within like 1 week. Now obviously it's not that quick compared to like other methods you can go and sell, like say prime sets and all that, but I'm mainly saying I like this method better because there is no RNG involved, meaning that all you need to do is simply go and play the game, collect your stang, and then trade it in for whatever arcane you currently want. So method number 2 involves us going and buying Archon mods, maxing them out, and going and selling them to other players using Warframe Market. Once again, there will be a link down in the description. Go ahead and take a look at it. So what you guys want to do is simply ensure that you do have the new Warframe VeilBreaker Quest complete. By the way, if you guys would like to go and see my personal playthrough on both of those quests, there will be a link down in the description, and of course both of them will be suggested to you guys at the top right. So go ahead and take a look at them. Once you guys have completed both those quests, you'll have access to the Drifter Camp, and you guys will see both of these guys standing. The guy on the right, his name is Chipper. The guy on the left, his name is Carl. So what you want to do is simply go and interact with Chipper. He is the vendor, and Carl is the guy that you go and grind out your standing and resources to go and purchase things from Chipper. So when it comes to the pods, here is what we're going to be talking about. As you guys can see, we have 5 unique mods: Archon Continuity, Flow, Vitality, Intensify, and Stretch. So what makes these mods so effective or potent or really powerful is their secondary effects that do come with it. So Archon Stretch is just as effective as regular Stretch, from what I do believe. If I am wrong, I'm sorry. But as you guys can tell by the secondary effect, basically every time you guys go and hit an enemy with an electric ability, you'll then be receiving 2 extra energy over time. Now this is really powerful against, this is really good when it comes to using Vault, mainly because the best way when it comes to going and nuking with Vault is you want to go and build for his discharge. Once again, if you guys would like to go and see this particular mod in action, there'll be a link down in the description to that particular video where I go and use it on Vault. It's a new meta for Vault and all that, so Archon Stretch definitely will allow you to go and never ever run out of energy at all, which will basically allow you to go and nuke the entire room. And any of these mods, which is actually makes your life so much easier for everyday Warframe, will obviously go up in price when it comes to platinum. But hey, doesn't matter which one you guys decide to go and choose, each one still is worth a good amount of platinum. I feel like anything that you guys can go and get yourself more than 100 platinum for a particular item or an individual item is still good plat. Now it is a little bit hard to try and get access to all of these, mainly because you need to then go through a bunch of prerequisites which can actually lock you out of entire Warframe's entirety, such as the new War Quest. It is Warframe's or DE's longest quest, so it might take a bit of time and all that, and also you need to get used to it. And also one thing I do want to say is the car missions aren't difficult, they're very easy to go and complete. It's just finding some of these challenges can be, or completing some of these challenges can be a little bit of a hassle, especially if you're pressed on time and of course aren't really that patient. But hey, If you put your hours in, then you'll definitely benefit from this entire guide, and you guys can definitely have a ton of platinum sitting in your back wallet. Our third and final method when it comes to making platinum is to then go and sell riven mods to other players. But this particular method is quite complicated, as because of the fact that there's a lot that goes into determining the price of a single riven, such as, is this weapon meta for a popular game mode such as your Eidolon hunts or even your Archon hunts, or does this weapon make a game changer for everyday Warframe? If any of those boxes get ticked, then you can definitely tell you those rivens probably go for a ton. Another contributing factor is the disposition of that particular riven. Is it a disposition 5, is it disposition 1, or is it a 3? And if you guys have been living under a rock, basically disposition depends or affects how high the stats will be. So for instance, as you guys can tell, we are currently looking at a lateral riven. This is either a disposition 4 or a disposition 5 riven, and you guys can tell we have some relatively high stats. 154% multi-shot, 315% damage, 94.7% fire rate, and of course minus 50% damage to Grenier. This is a disposition 5 weapon. But another example of a disposition 1 riven is the Catchment, because the Catchment for a very long time was such a fun weapon to go and use. Unfortunately, the whole community decided to go and abuse it, and DE did notice it, and of course the disposition did get nerfed. But on top of that, this is one of those rare occurrences, but the weapon itself also did catch a massive nerf. So you guys can tell we're not even getting more than 100% for any of the stats. We're only getting around 82% critical chance with 52% critical damage output. At one point, this Catchment used to be a disposition of 3, so therefore I used to have much higher rivens. And yes, let me tell you guys, DE does nerf the rivens if the weapon is way too popular or it makes our life so much easier. Then you guys can definitely do expect disposition adjustments. These happen every 3 months, so I do suggest as a trader, don't hold on to these things. Don't buy them. Maybe just go and grind, spend a bit of Kuva and go and have a bit of fun. But I do recommend just go and sell them, because at the end of the day, DE will go and nerf, the dispositions of a weapon, not the amount of platinum you currently do have in store, if that makes sense. So I'm going to be throwing up a visual representation of me making a recent sale with the Heck Riven. If you guys didn't know, one weapon that is meta when it comes to, Warframe itself, or for Archon Hunt specifically, is the Kuva Heck. So the Kuva Heck is a unique shotgun where you can basically then go and fire once or fire out of all 4 barrels in one singular instance, therefore dealing a ton of damage. And this weapon, even with the Kuva Heck version, you have a disposition 3, which is very good considering how powerful this particular weapon is. Now I went and sold it mainly because of the fact that I know for a fact it was going to get nerfed, and I'm not going to sit here and watch it be downgrade. I'd rather have a ton of platinum than something like that. So I'm going to be throwing up another visual representation. We are going to be taking a closer look at the Kuva Heck and see what are its stats. You guys can tell 23% crit, 2.1 critical damage multiplier with a 13% stage chance for each pellet. Now of course you then want to go and mod this weapon for crit, because that is its main strength. Because remember, high crit chance, high critical damage multiplier without any mods equipped, therefore you guys can go and deal a ton of damage. Now the riven that I did go and sell for 1,250 platinum, that is very cheap considering it is a godly roll. So what makes a riven powerful is, never mind it being meta and never mind it being a high disposition. Those are 2 contributing factors, but on top of that, it also boils down to the stats. So the stats I had was 3 damage stats and a negative. So when it comes to having a very powerful riven mod, or statistically a riven mod, you want to make sure that you have 3 positive stats or 3 damage stats and a negative one that only damage the weapon or harm this negative. So in this case, with this particular riven, we had crit chance, damage multi-shot with a plus 58% to weapon recoil. Remember, that is a negative, as it is considered to make the weapon harder to go and fire, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really make it that much harder, because you're just going to shoot once and the recoil is very, very, very manageable. So you're basically going to be having a really powerful riven that deals lots and lots of damage. Ladies and gentlemen, do go take a look at the rest of my videos. I do upload a decent amount of Warframe content, which I do feel like will be beneficial to you guys as Warframe players, whether it's veterans or beginners. go ahead and take a look at them. There will be some visual representations now on the screen if you guys would like to go and take a look at. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Of course, if you guys would like to go and see some more Warframe content from me, like the video, as this does help me out substantially. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, there is a link to the description to our Discord server. Go and join if you guys would like to go and interact with me outside of YouTube, or of course doing any one of my live streams. I make like a banana and split.